Yep.
My name's Jade, and I'm going to give my speech on importance of quality flight instruction. This is my audience. Alright, so first we're going to start off with a few references. Okay, as you continue to go through this course, you should have these books. You should already have the PHAC, and you will start to get into the Aviation Instructor's Handbook. Who in here has a PHAC? Everybody? Alright, good. The next reference is going to be the FAA's website. So when building this lesson, I used a lot of the FAA's website. They have a lot of statistics and actual PowerPoints on there of kind of what we're going to talk about. Okay, so first thing we're going to talk about, almost 39% of accidents happened because of a violation. Okay, the next thing that we're going to talk about is only 5% happened because of an actual system failure. Engine failure, hydraulic failure, anything like that. So your chances at actually having a system failure and crashing from it aren't very good, right? But you getting violated or doing something you're not supposed to, odds are a lot higher that you are going to have an accident. Okay, so of that violations, okay, this is broken down even more, we have 55% of the crashes that got violated were because of breaking minimum safe altitudes. And another 30% are because of busting weather minimums, okay? So the speech before me talked about IMC and VFR and stuff like that. So talking about VFR into IMC, kind of going off of that. Both of these can be completely avoided. Proper training, good ADM, all that stuff. You should be able to avoid all this stuff, okay? Josh, would you go fly into bad weather?
No.
No.
I would not.
You would not, right? Would you bust a minimum safe altitude?
No.
No, you wouldn't. Any of the students that he teaches, they wouldn't. So it's positive habit transfer. If you teach your students not to do something, then hopefully they won't do it. Now, we're fortunate here, we have a lot of student base that goes through the complete program, right? Private through CFII. They become flight instructors, and then they start to teach students, okay? Then we get into the whole other realm, which is going to be private owners, all right? So private owners come in, they want to buy a helicopter. They come in, they get a private license, which, how many people finish a private license in 75 hours? Okay, a few of you guys. Now, a little bit more. Some people are a little bit more, some people are less.
Yeah,
okay.
less right.
Yeah, I finished at 45, around there, 45 hours. Okay, if I would have had money, I would not have went and bought a helicopter and went and flown. It's crazy. 45 hours in a helicopter, and you can buy one and go fly it around. Pile your family in it, go fly. Okay. So if you guys have enough money to buy a $500,000 helicopter, are you guys really gonna listen to what your flight instructor said if he's not in there? You have your family in there. You guys are gonna go up to Sedona for lunch. You're gonna fly along the Verde River. Your instructor kept telling you, fly 1,000 feet. Okay, are you guys gonna listen? Probably not, right? You don't have very many hours, not very experienced, probably gonna do what you want. And that's where people kind of get in trouble. So breaking the minimum safe altitudes, okay? So minimum safe altitudes, if you're not over a congested area, it's basically you need to be able to get to the ground and not hurt persons or property in the event of an emergency or a power failure. All right, so technically you guys can go fly 20 feet over the ground if you want to. That's legal, okay? But what is low to the ground that is dangerous for helicopters? Power lines. There we go. So who wants to go fly through here? Want to go fly below the ridges? No? Why not? What about now? Anybody want to go fly through there? Okay. Now imagine flying a helicopter. You're by yourself. It's your own helicopter. You have 75 hours. You're flying along. And you're like, all right, I'm going to go down through here. Okay. So you're still trying to fly, navigate. Are you going to see these? No, you're not going to see them. They're not marked. Okay. Unless this guy's going across there, might be able to see them. But if he's not down in here, you can't even see where these cables go. So cables, power lines, all that stuff is deadly. So as long as you teach your student, make sure you're flying above 1,000 feet. If you're coming into a canyon right here, fly above the ridges, because most of the time they're going to have cables or wires that come down into that valley right there. Okay, and then kind of building on that, ADM. Okay, so before ADM, all of the big airline companies were like, yeah, all of our pilots are going to get better judgment as they get experience. Not the case, okay? So after they realized that, they started training their pilots on aeronautical decision making and found out that basically found out after 1987 when the FAA published 6 publications. Everybody was teaching it, everybody could study it, review it, and go off of that. Trained pilots made 10% to 50% fewer judgment errors. Okay? Breaking minimum safe altitudes, breaking weather minimums, all that stuff goes into ADM. And based off of this, ADM can be taught. Okay? We can teach ADM. So from private pilot all the way to double I, we're going to teach you good ADM. We're going to be monitoring your ADM. We might change it and teach you a little bit differently. That way when you get a student, you're going to teach positive ADM as well. Okay, so a few steps for good decision makings. You're going to identify personal attitudes that may be hazardous to the flight. We're going to go over that a little bit more in depth the next slide. We're going to learn to recognize and cope with stress. Okay, everybody has stress. If you have stress at home, at work, anything like that, you're going to have to cope with it and figure out a way to deal with it. That way you can operate that aircraft safely. You're going to develop risk assessment skills. Okay, so if you're, let's say, a private owner, you have your own helicopter. My friend really wants to go fly low level along the Verde River. Okay, what risk is in there? Okay, so risk in there is going to be hitting a cable because there's unmarked cables down there. Make sure you use all your resources. Inside your resources, inside your cockpit, your resources are going to include for-flight, GPS, radios, a second person, any of that stuff. Okay, and then you're going to evaluate the effectiveness of one's ADM skills. As a flight instructor, I fly with you. I'm always judging your ADM skills, seeing if I can improve them or not. Okay, 5 hazardous attitudes: anti-authority, impulsivity, invulnerability, macho, and resignation. Those are your 5. Okay, I'm sure you guys have felt at least one, maybe not, but some things to be looking out for. Okay, I keep referring back to the private owners. Invulnerability won't happen to me. Once you're not in their aircraft, they don't have to listen to you. Okay, and odds are they won't. They have a bunch of money. They probably haven't had to listen to really anybody before in their life. Once you're out of there, they're not going to listen to you. But when you're in there, they're going to do what it takes to please you. Okay, conclusion. If the quality of the flight instruction is good and your student takes on and adapts all that and makes it his own ADM and stuff like that, then we can start to mitigate all of these crashes and start to kind of eliminate all of them. Now, we can't eliminate all of them, but I bet we could get a good quantity of them down. Thank you.